Hello friends, I am Dr. N.K. Pawar. I welcome you in the fourth lecture of electronics at SYBSA level. Friends, the learning outcome of today's lecture is that you will understand what is the concept of voltage and current divider theorem. Later on we are going to cover what is equivalent resistance in case of series and parallel resistor circuits. Then the concept of what is meant by open circuit and what is meant by closed that is a short circuit. That concepts we are going to see, and along with that we are going to cover some problems solving regarding to these things. So friends, now we are going to consider the first important thing, that look carefully, what if you don't know current I in the circuit and you want to find voltage across resistor in the circuit. See, so far we know that we have already seen such kind of circuits in which there it is a battery, there it is one resistance, and if you are asked to find out the voltage across resistance, suppose V in is 10 volt and here this resistance is 10 ohm. So we used to do that simply according to V is equal to IR. We know that I is equal to V upon R, that is 10 divided by 10, and that is equal to 1 ampere, and that is why voltage across resistance R1 we could easily find out VR1 is equal to 1 into 10, that is equal to 10 volt. This was the method, but in this case remember that we need to find out the value of I. Now we'll concentrate here what exactly we are expecting. What if you don't know current I in the circuit? So how to solve that kind of problem? And there comes into picture, that is a voltage divider theorem. So understand first thing, in case of if you know voltage divider theorem, then there is no need of calculating current in order to find out the voltage across resistor. In single resistance circuit, it is obvious that the total potential applied will be across only that resistance, and that is equal to 10 volt. But what about more than one resistances are there? So in that case, see here it is shown a circuit that is V is equal to 10 volt, resistance R1 is 2.5 kilo ohm, and resistance R2 is equal to 7.5 kilo ohm. Now if you watch carefully, we have to find out the VR2. So how to find out the voltage in this case without calculating the current? So here when we want to find out the voltage across resistance R2, so according to voltage divider theorem, the formula is this, that the applied voltage V in into the resistance across which we want to find out the voltage, that resistance is R2 in this case, divided by the resistance across which we are calculating the voltage or finding the voltage, that is R2, plus all other series resistances in the circuit. So in this case, except R2, there is only one resistance, that is R1, and so here it is R2 plus R1. So note that in this case at numerator, the value of R2 across which we have to find out the voltage, that is considered. So from this we can easily say that V in is equal to 10 volt into R2 is equal to 7.5 kilo ohm divided by R2 7.5 plus 2.5, that is 7.5 plus 2.5. Obviously they are in kilo ohm, so that gives us, here it is, this 7.5 plus 2.5, it becomes 10k. So 10 into 7.5k divided by, here it is, 10k. So it turns to be 75k divided by 10k, and that is equal to 7.5 volt. So this is voltage across resistance R2, that is 7.5 volt. So from this formula it is clear that in order to find out the voltage across any resistance, we don't need to calculate the current. If we don't use this, we need to find out the current. So in this case, if you want to find out the current, what you would have done, that is total resistance in the circuit, that is 10 kilo ohm. It is because of 7.5 kilo ohm plus 2.5 kilo ohm. It is a total resistance in the circuit. So I is equal to V upon R. So here it is, voltage is 10 volt divided by, it is 10. But remember that in this case current I is not equal to 1 ampere, because of here it is 10 kilo ohm. So we get current is equal to 1 into 10 raised to minus 3 amperes, and that is equal to 1 milliampere. So whenever solving problem, always remember that the unit of the resistance as well as current, voltage, whatever it is, whether it is in kilo ohm, mega ohm or ohm, so that you should. And if we multiply this 1 milliampere current to 7.5k, we get 7.5 volt. So this way voltage divider can be used. Next, so we are talking about the another case of voltage divider theorem. See what is VRX it is. In this case you see that there are three resistors, that is R1, R2 and R3. Now question is how to find out the value across this. So we generalize the voltage divider theorem. So now in this case we are finding the voltage across R3. You can find out the voltage across any resistance, that is not the problem, but here now we are considering the voltage across R3. So here, in order to find out the voltage across any resistance, maybe 1, 2, 3, so we shall treat it as a VRX. So now that VRX is given by is equal to the input voltage, that is Vin, into the value of resistance across which we are finding the voltage, that is Rx, divided by Rx plus Rs. So note that this Rs is total resistance in the series with Rx. So let us consider R3 is Rx. Then now in this case, instead of one resistance there are 1 and 2. That means Rs is equal to 3 mega ohm plus 5 mega ohm, it comes to 8 mega ohm. So using the same formula we can see that is Vin is equal to 10 into Rx is equal to 2 mega ohm, means it is 10 raised to 6, remember that, divided by Rx is 2 mega ohm plus, now Rs here it is the combination of R1 plus R2. So that is why it is equal to 3 plus 5 mega ohm. So that is equal to 20 divided by 10, and that is equal to 2 volt. So voltage across R3 is equal to 2 volt. Remember that 1 mega ohm is equal to 10 raised to 6 ohms. So this way you can find out, just changing the value of x, you can find out R2 also, R1 also. If you put here R1, then here in place of Rx the value will be 3, and here it is 3 plus 5 plus 2, that is 7. This way you can find out the voltages across the resistances. Okay. So let us consider another example, that is some twist is there. Now you are well aware of voltage divider theorem, but in this circuit if you see, voltage is 30 volt, but there are a total how many resistances? That is R1, second is R2, R3, R4, and we have to find out, suppose, voltage across R2 and R3. So how to find out? So let us consider, first let us consider the voltage across R1. So voltage across R1 is equal to, as usual, V in multiplied by the value of resistance R1, that is VR1, divided by, sorry, here it is the value of resistance, it is R1, divided by the same resistance R1 plus series combination of all other resistances. Now apart from this R1, we see that there are 3 resistors, but this R2 and R3, they are parallel. So in this case we have a series resistance will be, first, that is R2 parallel to R3 plus R4. So this is actually combination. So therefore VR1 is equal to 30 multiplied by, it is 2000 kilo ohm. So 1000 times kilo ohm means mega ohm. So we can say it is 2 mega ohm divided by the value of R1, that is again 2 mega ohm, plus, now what is R2 R3 combination? So here it is 8 mega ohm and here it is 8000 kilo ohm, but remember that 8 mega ohm and 8000 kilo ohm are same. So according to parallel combination of resistance, the effective resistance between this point and this point is equal to R2 R3 upon R2 plus R3, that is equal to 8 into 8 divided by 8 plus 8. So that is 8 into 8 divided by 8 plus 8 is equal to 16. So that is equal to 4 mega ohm. This is what the result of parallel combination, plus our R4 is 4 mega ohm. So that is equal to 30 multiplied by 2 divided by 10. So that is equal to 60 divided by 10, and that is equal to 6 volt. So you can say that voltage appearing across R1 is equal to 6 volt. So this way you can calculate. Similarly, you can calculate the voltage across R2 and R3 also. But remember that the voltage across parallel resistances are always same. That means whatever the voltage across R2 is exactly equal to R3. So in order to calculate the voltage across R3 or R2, you have to consider first the parallel combination of these resistances, so between terminal A and B. So if you want to find out the voltage between A and B, so you have to use this formula. Then from this formula you have to find out this value, then put this value, replace these two resistances by a single resistance of this value, that is a mega ohm, and then you can easily find out the voltage. Thank you. Let us talk about current divider theorem. Now we saw that if we apply a voltage in the circuit according to KVL, we know that it is divided across all resistances in the circuit. Similarly, if branching is there, we see that the current is divided. So see here, in this case, this is a battery potential source which is providing current. Suppose current I is passing here. When it comes to this point, some part of current is flowing through this resistance R2 and some part is flowing through I1. So that means current is divided. Now how to find out the current I1 or current I2 if the value of I is known? So this is input is I, then it splits into I1, I2, again it comes back to I. So now we have to see that is a current divider theorem. So we have to find out the current through resistance Rx. So see, let us consider this is a battery. Now current I is flowing through this branch, and when it comes to the junction, there are two resistors connected parallel. And the circuit is completed. Let us consider the given current I is equal to 10 ampere, and let us consider this is 3 ohm resistance and this is 7 ohm resistance. This is R1, this is R2. Now when we want to find out the current through R1, that is current through R1, then according to current divider theorem, we can say we must know the total current. So as we saw in voltage divider, here instead of voltage we are considering total current I into. Note that in case of voltage divider theorem, we were considering multiplying here by the resistance across which voltage is to be measured. But now in this case, you have to consider the RP. Means if I want to find out the current through this R1, then this value should not be taken at the numerator. We have to consider the value of resistance which is parallel to this resistance, and here it is R2. So that should be considered divided by the value of resistance across which through which we are measuring the current, that is R1, plus total parallel resistance. So here in this case we have I is equal to 10 multiplied by parallel resistance, that is a R2, that value is 7 ohm, divided by 3 plus 7, that is R1 is 3 and parallel resistance is R2, and that is equal to 7. So 3 plus 7, that is equal to 70 divided by 10. that is equal to 7 ampere is the current flowing through resistance R1, that is 3. So this way we can calculate the current through any resistance. Now similarly, if we want to find out the current through resistance 2, then we can simply write the value of, that is I, into, here it is Rp, but now we are finding out the current through this resistance. Second, so now we have to consider this resistance and Rp is this. So in our case it is a 3 ohm divided by the resistance through which we are measuring the current, that is R2, plus Rp. So here we get the input current that we know, it is 10 multiplied by parallel resistance, its value is 3 ohm divided by R2 plus Rp, that is R2 is 7 plus parallel resistance 3, that is equal to 30 divided by 10. So that is equal to 3 ampere. So we got IR1, that is 7 ampere, we got IR2, that is 3 ampere. And how we can confirm that our answer is correct? Because of, according to Kirchhoff's current law, we know that I is equal to IR1 plus IR2. So that shows that 10 is equal to 7 plus 3, and this proves that our answer is correct. So let us consider the another example of current divider in order to understand the concept of parallel resistances. Now here, see, this circuit is different one. You should pay attention. Here what is happening? Here it is a 30 ohm resistance through which this current I is flowing. Now current is divided into this resistance, and there are 3 resistances. Means now what is happening, when you want to find out the current through R1, that is I1, so parallel resistance is now this parallel to this, so effective resistance will be this. So that you should understand for solving the problems like in which there are more than 3 or 4 resistances in parallel. So here in this case, let us consider we have to find out the current through any resistance Rx. Now I is given, that is I is equal to 15 ampere. Now according, see, first understand what is current divider theorem. So current through any resistance Rx is given by the total current in the circuit multiplied by the resistance, effective resistance of parallel combination of resistances to the resistance Rx. Suppose let us consider, here it is, we are measuring current through R1. So what is the value of Rp? Rp is the value of equivalent parallel resistance of these 2 resistances. Here it is 20 and 40 ohm resistances are there. Their parallel combination we'll have to find out, and that value we need to put here. So divided by Rx, that means the resistance through which we are measuring the current, plus Rp, so total parallel resistance. Now here in this case we have IRx, means we are considering see, that is current through resistance R1, which is of 10 ohm, is equal to the total current I is 15 ampere multiplied by, now here it is, we have to think about this Rp, and Rp is parallel combination of this and this, so we can calculate this Rp as 20 parallel to 40 ohm in this case. So that is 20 parallel to 40 divided by our Rx resistance, that is 10 ohm plus parallel combination is 20 divided by 40. This is equal to 15 multiplied by 13.33 divided by 10 plus 13.33, and that value is exactly equal to 8.570. So we get IR1 is equal to 8.570. Similarly, when you want to calculate the voltage across I across resistance R2, so here we get the value of resistance R2 is value of current is 15 multiplied by parallel resistance Rp divided by the resistance through which we are measuring the current, that is 20 ohm plus Rp. So here in this case it is 15 multiplied by, now see here that this is the resistance through which we are measuring the current. Parallel resistances are R1 and R3. So that is 10 parallel to 40 divided by 20 plus 10 parallel to 40. So that value is 4.285. So similarly you can find out R3, and that comes to 2.124, and their total is almost, that is I1 plus I2 plus I3 is almost 15 ampere. So this way you can solve it. So in this case, remember that we must know that this Rp is actually a parallel combination of the resistances which are parallel to the resistance through which we are measuring the current. So this care should be taken. So now let us discuss another topic, series resistance. So here see, what we see here is this, that what if we short resistance R2. So here it is a very common circuit, that is V is equal to 15 volt, R1, R2, R3. So here we can, according to Kirchhoff's law, we can find out the voltages across resistance, and according to current law, Ohm's law, we can find out even current. But now in this case, suppose let us consider, if this is the circuit, this is resistance R1, this is resistance R3, but between these two terminals B and C, it is shown 10 ohm resistance. What if we short resistance R2? So what is meant by short? That let us consider. So see, this resistance is there. So if I connect another wire from point B to C, so what will happen? So remember that here as shown in figure, the value of this resistance is given 10 ohm, But when we connect this wire, it is good conducting wire and its resistance is 0. So obviously resistance between B and C is now combination of R3 and this 0 ohm, let us consider it is R4. It is a parallel combination of R3 parallel to R4, and so effective resistance is R3 R4 divided by R3 plus R4. So here the value of R4 is 0, so that is why resistance between B and C becomes 0 ohm. And this way we can say the terminal B and C is shorted and no resistance is there, that means 0 ohm resistance is there. That concept you must know. So how much current will flow in the circuit through each resistance? So in earlier case, if you see what is the current, so here it is total resistance 5 plus 10 plus 15, so that is equal to 30 ohm and voltage is V. So the total current will be I is equal to V upon R1 plus R2 plus R3, and that is equal to, in presence of this R2, it is equal to 15 divided by 30. But now what is about R2? As we saw, if it is shorted, the value of RBC is equal to 0, and so now total resistance in the circuit is 5 ohm plus 0 ohm plus 15 ohm. So here it is 15 divided by 20, and so the current will be 0.75 ampere. So this is called as a short circuit. So let us see another concept. Now here a circuit is shown in which there it is a battery, resistors and the terminal B and C. So the question is, what is voltage across BC? So B and C, there is no any kind of component, that means a resistance as well as a connecting wire. So these terminals are called as open terminals. So what will be the voltage across BC? So see how much current will flow in the circuit. So in order to find out the current in the circuit, we know that is I is equal to V upon R. But in case of total resistance, we have R1 present, but here it is R2 is infinite plus R3 is present, and anything upon infinite, that is current is almost 0. But then what is the voltage? See, total voltage, that is we got the total current. So when we talk about, as RBC is infinite, this is open circuit, and what will be the voltage across this open circuit? See, V is equal to IR, but here when we talk about RBC case, so RBC is equal to infinite, therefore the voltage across resistance R BC will be maximum, and that is equal to total battery voltage. And in this case, that voltage across R between BC is equal to 15 volt. So remember that resistance between B and C is infinite, and it is very large as compared to this and this resistance. So no potential drop or voltage will appear across R1 and R3. Total voltage will be across BC. So we know that we saw what if we removed, this is open circuit. If we remove, now see, let us see carefully which is larger, whether VAB or VCD. Now see, so far we have already seen Ohm's law, Kirchhoff's voltage law, Kirchhoff's current law. So in this case, you please observe and decide that whether VAB will be larger or VCD will be larger. So let us consider, see, this is 20 volt, this is 20 ohm. Though we see that there are two 40 ohm resistances, but they are parallel. And in case of parallel combination, we know that resistance between A and B is 40 parallel to 40, and now we know that that is equivalent to 20 ohm resistance. So this is 20 and resistance between A and B is also 20. So applied voltage is 20. So according to voltage divider, the 10 volt will appear across resistance R1 and voltage 10 will appear across A and B. So now look at this circuit. So this and this circuit, they are same. Here only 120 ohm resistance is used. But in case of this circuit, there are two parallel resistances. So voltage across AB and voltage across CD, both are same. So see, which circuit gives large current? So here you see, that is, here it is V is equal to 10 volt. These are, in first circuit there are resistances, R1 is equal to 2 ohm, R2 is 6 ohm. Here there are two parallel resistance of 12 ohm and 12 ohm, and here it is. So in this case, in order to find out, first is, in order to find out the total resistance in the circuit R is equal to 2 ohm plus 6 ohm plus 12 parallel to 12 plus 6 ohm. So that is equal to 2 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. So this combination gives us 6. So it comes to 20 ohm resistance. So I is equal to V upon R. So that is 10 divided by 20. That will be the resistance in this circuit. Now look at this circuit. Here also R1 is 10. So in case of this circuit, R is equal to 10 ohm plus this is another 10 ohm. So that is again equal to 20. So I is equal to V upon R, and that is equal to 10 divided by 20. So that is the resistance. So note that in these both circuits, the currents are same. That you should remember. So which circuit gives large output voltage to the load connected across AB? So see, here actually we are trying to understand the concepts which are required for the next topic, that is Thevenin's theorem. So see, understand the question. Which circuit gives large output voltage to the load resistance? See, here it is. A circuit is there and this is AB terminal across which we are going to connect the load resistance. This is another circuit in which there are two terminals AB across which we are going to connect load resistance. So see, what is the concept of load resistance? That let us understand. See, first thing is that why do we use power supply? Power supply. Why do we use? So we need an energy to drive a particular device, or circuit. So let us consider I have a tape recorder and I want to play it. So for playing this tape recorder, I need voltage. So obviously this circuit is providing the voltage. And if I connect tape recorder between A and B, then it will provide energy to tape recorder and tape recorder will work. Now the resistance of the internal circuitry of the tape recorder is basically called as a load resistance. Means whatever device we are connecting to power supply, the internal resistance of that device is called as a load resistance, because of that resistance is actually drawing power, that is getting voltage and current from the circuit. So same case is here. Now these are two circuits. So in first case, let us consider what will be the voltage across A and B. So remember that in this case V is 100 volt. V is 100 volt. There are three resistors. One is 10 ohm, 10 ohm and 20 ohm. So resistances are R1 is equal to 10, R2 is equal to 10 and R3 is equal to 20 ohm. So total resistance in the circuit is 10 plus 10 plus 20 is equal to 40. So we can understand, so current I is equal to V upon R, that is 100 divided by 40, that is equal to 2.5. So now what will be the voltage across this? Voltage across 20 ohm resistance will be equal to voltage across 20 ohm resistance is equal to I, that means 2.5 into R, that is a 20, and that comes to 50 volt. So note that voltage across terminal A, B is equal to 50 volt. So this circuit is providing 50 volt. Look at this another circuit. So here it is a 50 volt, resistance is only 1, but we already saw if A and B terminal are open, that means resistance between them is infinite. If it is infinite, the total voltage will appear across A and B, so the output voltage will also across V, AB, in case of second circuit, that will be 50 volt. So both circuits are providing same voltage at the output. Now the thing to ponder is this: here for getting 50 volt out across AB, we have used 1, 2, 3 resistances and 100 volt battery, but the same output voltage is given by this circuit in which only 50 volt battery and 1 resistance is used. So if you understand the concept of Thevenin's theorem, which we are going to consider, in which we are going to learn any circuit by calculating something, appropriate calculations can be replaced by another circuit which is equivalent to Thevenin's voltage and a single resistance in series. So for that sake we studied this.